In the example of like a school with World War II, for example, and the founding fathers, they were able to get together and actually physically win. In the school setting, I would think, being a layman in this conversation, that necessarily may or may not be the right choice. What are some of the solutions for the child being bullied when if they, because they can't necessarily go to war, I would think, right?
In a school setting, the challenge is empowering a child who can't self-advocate for himself or herself to have the term we're using now. In the social media world or cyberbullying, where we use a bystander. That person who simply is going to get out the cell phone and start to record the YouTube video to try to see if they can get that to go viral. We need more upstanders. So if the child can't self-advocate for themselves because they're just not that type of person, maybe they're just shy and submissive, or they have a special need, and they don't have that advocacy, we hope that kids will start to be upstanders, is the new Wikipedia word we're using, for kids to come in and wrap around them and say, leave him alone. He's going to eat lunch with us, or leave her alone, and they start to show the bullies that you're not as important as protecting this particular child. What we often fail, though, is that we have to remember that bully still needs support, too, because there's probably some underlying trauma that hasn't been addressed. I say this all over the country. Children aren't born from a mother's womb, and they come out, and the pediatrician says, here you go, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, here's your deviant child. They're going to be grown up to be a bully, and they're going to be incarcerated, and they're going to be whatever. They're a product of their environment. And whether or not that environment is healthy or not healthy will often dictate how that child will behave in a setting. Now, and the other issue, though, which is interesting, is sometimes you have parents who are wonderful parents, and they instill all of these wonderful manners in the children, but they don't even realize that their children are bullying other children at school or on the playing field or in a club or activity, because that child has been kind of inundated by that environment, whatever that environment is at school. So we send our children off the thresholds of school as good kids, but depending, as we say to kids, well, who are you hanging out with? Who are your friends? How do you start smoking? How do you start drinking?